Ladonia Randall, Computer Applications and Communications. In this tutorial, we are continuing with session 2.2, working with the CSS Typography. Session 2.2 begins on page 106 in our textbook or ebook. There's an overview on page 106 that shows you some of the things we'll be doing, working with our font family, font size, letter spacing, kerning, line height, text align, um, navigation. There's some text within the chapters, exploring selector patterns on page 108. And when we get to 110, we will see the continuation of the tutorial to create style rule with a contextual selector. All right, so we need to open our TSS underscore styles.css file. That's our cascading style sheet file. We're still opening that with our text editor. And step 2, it says within the aside and block quote style section, insert the following style rule. So let us find, let me minimize that folder. So let's find aside and block quote styles. And that's on my line 43. So there we are going to type aside block quote. Oh, and if you notice, remember on our comments for our style sheets, it's a little different than with our HTML web page documents. You see on let's just look at 43 since we're working on that. On line 43, we have the backslash asterisk, the comment that's made, and then we close out the comment with an asterisk and a backslash. So we have a side block quote, open squiggly bar, and we do color, or we type color, RGB, left parentheses, 232, 65, and 166. Close off the parentheses, do a semicolon, and then close off the squiggly line, right? Squiggly bracket. Always save your files, file and save, or what do? Command S on the Mac. On a PC, we do Control S. We'll continue on because we're still working with the TSS underscore styles.css file. So now what we are going to do is do attribute selectors. And these selectors can be defined based on attributes and attribute values within the elements. So let's try these out. So let's change the selectors for the H1 and H2 elements in the heading and style section. So let's find our heading style section. That's on my line 29. And we are going to change the selectors. Okay, so we got H1 right now. And you see we typed that earlier. H1 with the left squiggly bracket color white. But we need to add that article. So we type article, hashtag or pound sign, about, underscore TSS, and keep the H1. We keep color with the white, and we keep the background with all those numbers. Then we need to go to our H2 and do the same thing. You can either retype it, or you can copy what, or you can copy what you just typed in and paste it where it needs to go. Whatever's easiest for you. We're going to save that, and then we're going to reload the TSS_home.html file in our browser, and then we got to look to see that the design for H1 and the H2 headings is applied to the headings in the about_TSS article, but not to the other headings on the page. All right, so let's go to our TSS home. I minimize that. TSS home, that's our HTML file. I guess I could double click it, couldn't I? There we go. So how do we look? We look good? Mm-hmm. Got our color as white. All right. Beautiful. All right. So next, let's apply this on page 113 in our textbook or ebook. We're going to apply a class selector. The article element will be used in other pages, in the Try and Succeed Sports website. We need to create style rules for the H1 and H2 elements within the articles on those pages. So we need to open TSS_run_txt.html. We also need to open, let's do that one step at a time, because that will avoid confusion, right? So let me close out this TSS_styles.css file. Close it out. Now, let's see. TSS_run_txt.html. Let's open that file. Because we got to do some editing, so we're going to open it in our text editor. We also need to open TSS_bike_txt.html in our text editor. And we also need to open TSS_swim_txt.html. There we go. All right. So in these files, we are going to put our name, your name, and the date. What's today? September 27th. You don't have to type out the whole date. And remember, we're doing this in the comments section of each of these 3 files we just opened. You can do September 20, or not September, whatever date you're working on the file. Oh, be sure you save the file. Oh, but we also need to go back, don't we? Sorry. And we need to file, save as, take out that txt, so it should only be tss_run.html. Be sure it's saved in that tutorial folder. All right, you see how it changed up here? So we're going to do the same thing with bike and swim. So I'm going to do file, save as, and see, that way, if you make an error and you need to go back to the original file, then you don't have to go back and download the data set or try to figure out what you did. Just go back to that file, TSS_run or bike or swim dot underscore, those files with the underscore txt.html file. All right, and I've got my date here. Now I need to fix this one. I'm gonna put my name and the date. Like I said, you don't have to type out the full date. What's today? The 09 is the month. 27, 2017. Because remember, this isn't what you type in the comments section is not going to affect the web page because it's in the comments section. All right. So let me save this because see, we still got that underscore txt .html extension. So I'm going to do File, Save As, get rid of that underscore txt, do .html. It's still in the tutorial folder. We're not moving anything. And hit save. All right, step 2 on page 113, to apply class selector. Within each of the 3 files, we're going to insert a link element before the closing head tag to link these files to the TSS underscore layout.css and TSS underscore styles.css files, respectively. All right, so let us find we got to add those links before the closing head tag. So let me find the closing head tag. Look with me. So let's see, our opening head is on my line 3. I don't know what line it is on your computer, and it's closed on line 18. So it says within each of the 3 files, let's start with run, TSS run, 3 and 18. Okay. So we need to type these links before the closing head. So before line 18, because 18 has our closing head, and I'm going to put some space in between just because I like to have space so I can see if I need to make corrections, I can read my code. All right, so let's do it. Less than sign link, href equals open quotation css underscore layout dot css, close the quotation marks. We got our rel equals open quotation mark style sheet, close the quotation mark, backslash, and greater than sign. Then our next line, remember we're doing 2 links to this page. Link href equals tss underscore styles dot css, close off the quotation, close off the quotation mark, rel equals style sheet, close the quotation marks, backslash, greater than sign. Always save your work just in case something happens to the computer. Now it says step 3 on page 114, take some time to study the content and structure of the files. Note that the article element has the class attribute with this value syllabus, and we need to save our changes to the files. Now remember, I didn't do something, did I? That's why it's best to take your time when you're doing this, and don't try to do the tutorial in the same day as an assignment is due, because you can end up making errors. So those 2 links that I made to the layout style sheet and the styles cascading style sheet, remember I need to copy those and put those on those other 2 documents that we have open, the bike HTML and the swim HTML. So I'm going to bike. I know it's bike because I see it here. I see it here in this bar. And then I also see it in my comments. It's on my line 13. I'm in the bike file. So right before the closing head, and if you notice, I'm putting some space. I'm going to paste it there. Then I'm going to save it. Then I'm also going to my TSS underscore swim.html file. I know that is the file I'm working with because I see it here on this tab. I see it on this bar, and I see it in my comments. Put some space, paste it, save it. All right. So back to step 3. It says take some time to study the content and structure of the files. Note that the article element has the class attribute with the value syllabus. Save your changes to the file. All right, so that means I need to go back to look at that styles, cascading style sheet, right? And I need to look at, let's see, aside, there we go, right here, about TSS. We got our article, we got our heading style. Okay, so let's work on this. Within the heading style section, where is that? Do y'all see it? I see it. Line 29. We need to add the style rule to display the text of H1 and H2 headings in medium gray on a light purple background. Is that going to be cute? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Heading styles. All right, let's put it on. I'm gonna put it on my line 40. I don't know what line it'll be on for you. Let's try it. Syllabus, H1, article, period, syllabus, H2, left open squiggly bracket, background. Doesn't matter how it's typed as you're typing it. I'm gonna go ahead and just type it in so you can see. It's a computer, so you have to tell it what to do. The computer's not going to, because you're actually programming this. So if you're not typing the right thing, of course there'll be an error. You see how I grunt when I see how I make an error. It happens. Close off the parentheses, semicolon, and the right squiggly bracket. All right, so this will be easy for me to read. I'm going to do article.syllabus H1. I'm going to put a space. Okay, you see right here, I misspelled article. That'll have an effect on my page. Syllabus H2. Then we got our background color. I'm going to put that on another line, and I'm going to indent it. And then I'm going to indent this. Okay? So we're saving our changes to our style sheet, and then we're going to open the TSS run file in our browser. Let's see, TSS run. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Gray text with the light purple background. It's decent. All right. Beautiful. So guided running and racing is the gray and the purple. Course outline is gray and purple. We got our H1 heading and our H2 heading. And let us use our little navigation links to see the design on cycling and the swimming pages. Cross your fingers. Let's hit cycling. Okay, cycling looks good. I know this is cycling because I'm up here and see it's TSS underscore bike. Then we'll go to swimming. And if you look up here, it says TSS underscore swim. And because we did those element changes in our style sheet, each of these pages is automatically changes that background and the font for us. So it's lovely to work with style sheets. All right, moving on. This tutorial is probably going to be a little long, but I want to be sure to finish this session 2.2 all at once, so it's not multiple videos. All right, so on page 117, let's close these out. On page 117, we're going to specify a font family for the page body. All right, so it looks like we are going to return to our TSS underscore styles.css file. So let's take a look at that. Let's minimize this. Would it be easier if I close these files for y'all? Probably so. So there's no confusion. All right, we're back to our style sheet file. We're going to add some style rules to our body element, and we need to find that. So what line is that on? Do you see it? I see it. Line 23. Here's our body element. You see it? If you keep scrolling, you see there's no other mention of body, right? No. So let's go to our body element. That's my line 23. So let's add underneath all of this color underscore RGB. Let's do font family. Verdana, Geneva, and sans serif. All right. And it looks like I didn't include something in the old section, did I? We need background dash color colon ivory. That's one thing I do like about the book. It has the little screenshot or the little boxes so you can kind of see what needs to be on your file, within your file. Okay, let's save these changes to that. And then I'm going to open up my TSS underscore home.html file in my browser. Let's see. TSS underscore home. There we go. Okay. You see what happened? Now I got that white background that I did not have included before. My font changed. And let's keep scrolling. You see what happened? All right. Then we're going to view the other 3 pages in the website to verify that the sans serif font is also applied to the body text of those pages. So remember, what were those other pages? Running, cycling, and swimming, or what was the file name itself? It was run, bike, and swim, right? And you see it's changed, right? All right. And our home page still has the white text and the, what is that light orange behind it, but the other ones have the gray with the light purple. All right. Don't need to save that. That's an error. I accidentally, by habit, did Command S. All right. Page 119. We're going to install and use a web font. Ooh, all right. So we're going to back to our CSS underscore styles .css file. We have that in our text editor. It says step 2 on page 119. Directly after the character set rule at the top of the file, we're going to insert the following font dash face rule. Okay, so directly after the character set rule at the top of the file. So let's find that. Do y'all see it? I do. That's line 1, huh? If you can't find something, you know what you can always do is Command F on your Mac or Control F on your PC. We're going to find because it tells us we need to directly after the car set rule. So I'm typing that in. Let's find it. And look. And then it says it's found one item. So that's just a little tip. So it says directly after that, we're going to do font family quicksand semicolon. Then we got excuse me, made a mistake. At font face dash at font dash face. I'm typing, but I'm not saying the right thing. There we go. Now, then I need to take off that at before font family. Okay, font dash family quicksand semicolon. Then we got our source space URL open parentheses single quotation quicksand regular .woff. Close that single quotation, close off the parentheses. Format, open parentheses, single quote, WOFF, WOFF. Close off the quotation, close off the parentheses, and then I need a comma. Then we need to have URL, open parentheses, single quotation, quicksand, regular .tff. Close off the quotation, close off the parentheses, format, open parentheses, single quotation, true type, close off single quotation, close off your parentheses, semicolon, and then our squiggly bracket that I have on line 6. Now at the top of the section for heading styles, that's on my line 38, I'm going to insert the style rule at the top of the section of heading styles. We're going to do H1, comma, H2, open squiggly bracket. Then we're going to type font family, quicksand, Verdana. Did I spell it right, y'all? Comma, Geneva, comma, sans serif, semicolon, close off the squiggly bracket. I'll put a little space in between there so I can see in case I have to go back and make some edits. All right. So we're going to save our changes to the file. Command S on the Mac, Control S on the PC. I'm going to open up TSS underscore styles. I'm going to open TSS underscore home.html in our browser. Let's see what happens. All right. So if you look, our H1 and H2 text has that quicksand font. You notice the difference? You see links, you see about TSS, you see classes, see our philosophy. That has our quicksand font. All right. If you need to stop and take a break, stop the video and come back. But I am going to continue. All right, page 123, we're going to set font sizes for the page elements. So we are back on our TSS underscore styles.css file because this whole session tutorial is on style sheets. That's why we're working with this file more than anything else. All right, so now we're going to add the following rules directly below the heading styles comment to define the font sizes for H1 and H2 headings throughout the website. So it says directly under the heading styles comment. So heading styles is on my page, is on my line 38. It says directly under it. We're going to do H1, open squiggly bracket. And we got font size, colon, font size, colon, 2.2 EM, semicolon. Close off the squiggly bracket. Then I need to have H2, open squiggly bracket, font size, colon, 1.5 EM, semicolon, close off the squiggly bracket. Then we're going to go to the aside and block quote style section. This is step 3 on page 124, and add the following style rule to set the default font size of text in the aside element to 0.8 EM. All right. So let's find aside and block quote styles. Aside and block quote styles. And we're going to add the following style rule. All right, let's do this. Aside, open squiggly, font size, colon, 0.8. Be sure you do the number 0, not the letter O, like I almost did. Semicolon, close off the squiggly. All right. How we looking? Now we're going to go to the navigation style section and add a style rule. Navigation section, that's on my line 82. All we have is that comment, that's on line 82. We're going to go below it and we're going to type nav, open squiggly bracket. On the next line, font size, colon, 0.8. Look at that. I did an O. 0.80 EM, semicolon. Close off the squiggly bracket. All right, I'm going to save our changes to the file. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to open up TSS underscore home and look and see what happened. Open with Safari. There we go. All right. See how I changed that font size? All right. So our font size for links is set at 2.2. Our font size for our, menu is 0.8. Our font size for About TSS is 2.2. Our font size for comments is 2.2. And our font size over here under comments is set at 0.8. All right, let's close that out from our browser. And let's move on to page 126. We're going to set font sizes of the page elements. So we're going to go back to our what? Our TSS underscore styles file. And in the heading section, can y'all see that all right? Should I make my screen a little bigger for you? If you believe I need to make my font larger, send me a message so I can do that on my next set of tutorials for tutorial 3 when we get to it. All right, in the heading style section, we're going to insert a letter spacing style as part of the style. Okay, so we need to find our heading style section. That's my line 38. Okay, heading style section, that's my line 38. And it says insert the following style as part of the style rule for the H1 H2 selector. So we have our H1 H2 selector here. If you're not sure of what to do, hey, open that textbook up. That's why I have it as a requirement, because we use our textbook in this class. So on my line 47, after that sans serif, on another line, I'm going to type letter dash spacing colon 0.1 with our EM and our semicolon. All right. Now we're going to scroll down to the navigation style section. And underneath this that we have navigation with the font size and whatnot, we're going to type nav greater than, what's UL, y'all? Unordered list, right? Open squiggly. Next line we have line height colon 2 EM semicolon and close off the squiggly. Save it. Let's go to our TSS home to open that. Let's see what that looks like once we get it loaded. I'm using Safari. I can use Chrome. I can use Firefox. It doesn't matter. At least if you use different browsers, you can see how the page loads. So this is the way the page looks once we have typed in that information on that style sheet. Now let's open this up in Safari, see if there's a difference. Just gonna kind of squeeze that together. That's Chrome, so let's open it in Safari and see what happens. All right, how are we looking? Let's minimize my folder. Okay, how are we looking? Looks the same. All right. And then how about we open it up in Firefox? Well, I'm on the Mac, so. But if you're on a PC using Chrome, open it up in Internet Explorer, see how it looks. All right. Because some browsers do work differently, y'all. All right. Next, on page 129, we are going to apply the font property. So guess where we're going, y'all? We're going back to TSS underscore styles.css. So let's open that file up. Here we go. And, all right, apply font property. So we're going to go down to the footer style section and add a style rule. Footer styles. There it is on my line 101. So let's type body greater than sign, greater than sign footer, address, um, open squiggly, and we have background, color, colon, RGB, 222, 128. These are some numbers that correspond to, RGB. Close off the parentheses, semicolon. Then we need our color, colon, white, color, colon, RGBA. Excuse me. Close off the parentheses, semicolon. If that squiggly line is bothering y'all, let me do that. Because it doesn't affect my document. Normal, small caps, bold. Plus I need the squiggly line to close it off, right? 3. Then I need, let me go back. Yes, that's correct. All right. Then I need quicksand. Let me I can do that. Just so everything will be lined up. Quicksand, Verdana, Geneva, sans serif, semicolon, text align. See, all this code you're typing is telling the computer what to do. Let's not be just consumers of things. Let's create things. How about that? All right. So let's save this. So our book says to note that this style rule uses progressive enhancement. Yes, it does, by placing each color rule on its own line so that browsers that do not support semi-transparent colors will display the address text in white. So in our book, it's telling us figure 2-29 highlights the style rule for the footer. So let's look at that. So let's see, this line 102, let me highlight that for you. This applies the style rule to the address element within the body footer. Then let's see, let's highlight this part because we're going to talk about that. All right. Then this RGB 222, 128, and 60, that sets the background color to dark orange. Then if you look over here, that background color line, color, that displays the text color in a semi-transparent white or white if semi-transparent colors are not supported. Then let's look over here. We got our little font size set to 0.9, and then we have the other one set at 0.3, line height. Then we have our different text, and we have our serif, our sans serif fonts. Text align center. It horizontally centers the text. And then right there on line 106, displays the text in a normal bold font with small caps. So, let me scroll back so y'all can see it. So let's save this file. Command S on a Mac, Control S on a PC. And let me minimize that. And then I'm going to open TSS Home in our browser. I need to open the folder back up because I closed it. Want to see it in Chrome? Let's see it in Chrome. All right. How are we looking? Let's look at that body footer. Look at that. Because wasn't that what we were working on when we typed? Hold on. When we typed that code, weren't we working in footer styles? Right? So we should see that in our footer. Let me scroll. There you go. So now you see it. All right. So that concludes session 2.2 of tutorial 2, getting started with CSS.